Alright, hello and welcome. This is Aaron with Steel Picking. In this video I'm doing a C6 lesson. I'm going to show you how you can use different type chords or chord substitutions to come up with new ideas for single string picking. In this video I'm using a form of an E minor to play over an altered C chord, and we'll get into it in more depth in the lesson. But just shows you different starting points that you can use to come up with your single note picking. So let's look at this. Alright, let's look at this lesson. What I had in mind on this was to show you that we can play other forms of chords over each other. And in this instance we're playing an E minor 7 flat 5. Now that sounds very complicated or kind of out there, but basically all we're doing here is we have the same notes that would be in a C ninth chord, with the exception of the root, the C note. So I'm going to show you some positions to play a E minor 7 flat 5 chord using single notes. Now if we were looking at those notes, we would have the first would be an E, the third would be a G, that's the flat third, the flat 5 would be a B flat note, and the 7th note would be a D note. Now that's the notes of an E minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now if we were looking at a C ninth chord, the notes would be every one of those notes added a C note on the bottom. So we could play a C note for the root, an E for the third, a G for the fifth, a B flat for the seventh, and a D for the ninth. Now that chord is played at the 7th fret. You're going to lower your 6th string with the pedal, and you're going to play 9 to 5. Okay, so that's a C ninth chord. Now what we're doing then, we're trying to figure out places we can do single note ad lib. So one of the chords, or one of the forms that we can play over that chord, will be out of an E minor chord. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those positions, and then we're going to kind of hone in on one in particular. If you played your 6th string open, that is the E note. You play your 5th string open, play your 4th string, at the 1st fret, play your 3rd string at the 2nd fret, and that is E, G, B flat, D. Okay, so that is the 4 notes and an E minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now that will play over this chord. And it'll work over that, which you heard in the with the soundtrack. So that's the first position. The next position we're going to play that would be out of our E fret, which will be the 4th fret. You play your 7th string, play your 6th string at the 3rd fret, play your 5th string at the 3rd, play your 3rd string at the 3rd, lowering it with your knee lever. Okay, that's those same notes. We're going E, G, B flat, D. Okay, the next place to play that, you go to your 7th fret, lower your 6th string, and you're going to play 8, 7, 6, 5. So that's an E minor 7 flat 5. Okay, the next place to play it, go to your 10th fret, raise your 9th string with the pedal. You're going to play 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, that's the same exact notes, just a different position. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 places that we can work those chords. And that's how you come up with your single note picking. So let's concentrate now. We're going to call this a non-pedals position, because if you go to your 4th fret, that's an E chord, and we're going to do this one. And we're simply going to look at a way of thinking about single note picking. So we've got the pattern, and we're simply going to either use an approaching tone from above or below. To start working on our improvisation. So the first one I did was one note below. So we did so we had the pattern. So again, the pattern is 7th string, 4th fret, 6th string, 3rd fret, 5th string, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 3rd fret, lowered with an E lever. Now we're going to do the approaching notes on the 6th string and 5th string. So we're going to go 2, 3, 2, 3. So okay, so what we do here too is we develop our ear training. You may not like some of those are going to sound a little dissonant, so they have to be like a slur. And that's how you develop your licks. So every one of these notes we can either approach from below or we can approach from above it. So from above, if you started at the 7th string 4th fret, you would start on the 7th string 5th fret. Okay, if you played that 6th string at the 3rd fret, you would approach it from the 4th fret. If you played the 5th string at the 3rd, you'd approach it from the 4th. If you played the 3rd string at the 3rd lowered, you would approach it from the 4th fret lowered. Okay, so then you start developing and that's how you're going to develop your licks. Now as you go up the fret, you start working these different positions. And that's how you're going to start developing your single string picking. So again, just to recap, we have the E minor 7 flat 5 open notes. We have it at the 4th fret. We have it at the 7th. We have it at the 10th. So what you have is all the notes of a C ninth chord, with the exception of the root, the C. So that's how we can play this over a C ninth chord, but we can also play it over C altered chord. And then again, you start doing your ear training to see which one sounds the best for you. But just know that you can play that over a C ninth for sure. And then try other forms of the C chord to see how it works. Then also look at your positions. So we have, if you were relating this to an E ninth tuning, so we had one in the no pedals position. We had one 2 behind where we're starting, because the 12th is C. Then we had one at the pedals down position. So on the E ninth, if you go to the 5th position and put pedals down, it'd bring you back to the 1 chord. So if we go to the G position here at the 7th, we've got, and then we have one that is at the E position, which that's what we're playing, is an E minor 7 flat 5 notes. Then we could work those two positions, interlace them with each other. Okay, so I think that's enough of that. So you can kind of see where we're going with this. Realize that an E minor 7 flat 5 chord sounds like this big off the wall chord, but basically that's just a C ninth chord without the C root. So give this a try, and I hope it helps you, and let me know what you think. Alright, as always, Jacob and I appreciate you watching and tuning into our videos. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, if you do that, you'll get notifications when we post new material. Also, if you'd hit the like button, we'd like that and appreciate it. And this lesson was showing you how you can have different ways to play single note licks, and maybe come up with some ideas for your playing. We're looking at playing a type of an E minor over a C chord. So I hope it was informative and it helped you and maybe give you some insight on something new. You can go to our Patreon site if you'd like the backing track for this, and you could support us there and we'd appreciate it. But as always, Jacob and I just thank you, and keep picking.